What up, comrades? We're back again, and this time we're talking about class interests. In the previous video, I mentioned class interests a couple of times and how we can make sense of a lot of issues that manifest in society by understanding the two major classes, the bourgeoisie and the proletariat, and their respective class interests. So, what are class interests? Well, a class interest is anything that a particular class wants or works toward because it benefits them given the circumstances they're in because of their class. Let's take some examples. Let's say you work some job and you live with your parents because you don't yet make enough money to move out on your own, but also your parents make little enough that you moving out would make it a bit more difficult to afford rent, bills, and food costs, etc. Now, some things to remedy these issues would be working more hours so you can make more money, right? But you can only work so much. What about higher wages? That might work. Lower cost of living might be even better than that. And by that I mean, if landlords were prevented from charging rent higher than a certain amount, and companies were prevented from constantly raising the price of stuff. Those things are in your class interest as part of the working class, because those things would make your life a lot easier. Now let's take a look at things from the other side. Let's say you're a capitalist who owns a large corporation and you have lots of employees. You have opposing class interests to the worker. The things that would make the worker's life easier, higher wages, price regulation, paying people benefits, etc., well, that will cost you and your company money. And you as a capitalist want as much possible money and growth lest other capitalists and companies outcompete you and run you out of business. So you don't want to pay higher wages. You prefer to pay people as little as possible. Too bad there are minimum wage laws. But if you can get around that somehow, you definitely try. Maybe paying workers a salary and then increasing the workload to get more value out of them. Maybe making workers work off commission or tips. Or just export labor to another country where you can get around minimum wage laws altogether. And you definitely don't want to lower the price of stuff. You want to raise it as much as you think you can without customers deciding to buy from some other brand or store. The fact that the goals of these two major classes are opposite, at odds with each other, is called class conflict or class warfare. And it means that these classes fight to protect and further their own class interests, even at the expense of the other class. Now, just some effects of capitalists warring against us for their own interests include low wages, widespread layoffs, mass homelessness, mass unemployment, increased police presence, mass incarceration, privatized prison systems, high rent, gentrification of poor neighborhoods, high prices of higher education and healthcare, and so on and so on. So in response, workers might strike or protest for better wages. They might riot and loot, although I prefer the terms sabotage and expropriation of goods. They might also organize work slowdowns, give away things for free to customers, look the other way when they see people shoplifting, or they might shoplift themselves. They might sabotage their workplace in some way, or participate in mass uprisings. However we can, we have to wage our own class war against the capitalists as they do to us. And how we go about doing that is a topic that many people have their own thoughts on, and it's the cause of much debate and disagreement among leftists. And maybe that'll be a topic for a different video. But that's it for now. See you later, comrades.